Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's had a good Monday. Today, we are going to be talking about how often should you work out. If you are new to the gym or you want some advice on how often should you work out, then stay with me over the next 30 minutes where I'm going to be talking about a couple of key topics when it comes to how often you should be going to the gym. Just a little bit about myself if you guys have never seen me before. So my name is Ross. I've got over a decade of experience in the health and fitness space. I've been posting on social media for around 6 months. And I've been running these TikTok live sessions on different fitness topics since the start of January. So I'm very happy to have you guys on. Feel free to ask me questions. If you guys are finding the live helpful, please like the live. It is really, really key for me to know that you guys are getting value from the session today. So, in terms of the topics that we're going to be discussing today, we're going to be talking about how often should you work out. This is a super critical question when it comes to achieving your fitness goals. A lot of people think they need to be going to the gym 5 to 6 days a week. Some people think they only need to be going to the gym 3 days a week. What is best? We're going to be running through that today. We're also going to be talking about recovery and general real ways to actually fit gym and working out into your busy lifestyle. Look, we understand people got responsibilities. However, you want to make sure that you're looking after yourself. That's why it's super critical about understanding how often should you work out. So we're going to be running into common myths when it comes to working out. We're then going to start talking about frequency by goal and lifestyle. We're then going to start moving to consistency and motivation tips. And then around 9 o'clock, we're going to finish up with a summary and a call to action. So for anyone just joining, if you guys are finding this live helpful as we run through how often should you work out, then please like the live. Please ask me questions as we're running through, because it is really critical for me just to understand that you guys are getting value from the session today. So, just a little bit about myself. I have pretty much tried over a decade plus many different workouts where I've been going to the gym 3 days a week. I've gone to the gym 6 days a week. I've gone to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. So I've done a blend of them all. And this is what I'm going to share with you, my own personal experience, what you guys should be aiming towards in terms of achieving your fitness goals. So the first thing that we're going to move into is busting common myths when it comes to how often you should go to the gym. So I'm going to address the common misconceptions when it comes to the gym. So more isn't always better. So a lot of people might think to themselves, going to the gym more is going to be best for me, because if I go to the gym more frequently, it's going to be faster results than as opposed to going 3 days a week. Overtraining can actually hurt your progress. You've got to understand that you are not going to change your body by being inside of the gym or doing a home workout. You are only going to be growing and changing your body through rest, recovery, and proper nutrition. At the end of the day, overtraining is one of the most common mistakes that a lot of people will face when they're thinking, how often should I work out? More isn't always better. And overtraining can lead to injuries. Injuries then lead to time off. Time off then leads to stalled progress in the gym. Another common myth is, if I skip a day, I'm failing. Look, life happens. We've got to be realistic. This isn't a perfect life on social media where we can get up at 5 a.m. every morning and go to the gym every day. We've all got lives, we're all super busy. And realistically, we're going to have times when we're going to skip a day. And if you skip a day, that doesn't mean that you're failing. All you have to do is think about, if I miss a day today for whatever reason, I just get back on it as fast as I can. You've got to focus on consistency over perfection. Last week, I usually go to the gym 3 days a week now. I was only able to go to the gym 2 days a week, and then for the third workout, I had to do that at home. That is not a failure in my eyes. At the end of the day, it's all about consistency over perfection. That is what is critical. And in terms of actually going to the gym, you don't need to go to the gym 6 days a week in order to see results. This is something from my personal experience that I thought you needed to do in order to stay in shape. Many, many years ago when I first started exercising, I would say to myself, if I don't go to the gym 6 days a week and train a muscle group at least twice a week, then I'm not going to change my body or see the results. At the end of the day, we all get extremely busy. Life happens. Even doing 3 30-minute workouts each week, and everyone's got 30 minutes to do a workout 3 times a week. Research has shown that you can still see fantastic progress even with just 3 30-minute workouts a week. So for you guys that are watching this, comment below if you guys feel guilty when you skip workouts. So what we're going to move into next is frequency by goal and lifestyle. So this is a very, very critical part of understanding, based on your lifestyle and based on your goal, how often should you be going to the gym or how often should you be working out. So I'm going to break this down to you guys in a very easy to digest way. For you guys watching, please let me know at the moment how often that you guys are going to the gym. Be really good to understand what you guys are currently doing at the moment. So in terms of breaking it down, how often you should be going to the gym, I'm going to break this down by frequency and lifestyle. So if you are strength training, if you want to get bigger, if you want to get stronger, I would recommend, if you are happy with your current physique and you just want to maintain what you've currently got, you're in good shape, then going 3 days a week is optimal. 3 days a week, 10,000 steps a day is super, super bang on. You're going to be able to hit the gym with the right intensity. You're then going to be able to have enough recovery days in order to rebuild, get stronger, and fuel your body with the right rest, recovery, and nutrition. If you need to potentially go through a slight transformation, if you need to change your physique, I would recommend that you might need to go to the gym 4 or 5 days per week. The reason why I'm going to say that is because you need to add in a bit more volume to change your body. 3 days a week is great for maintenance. 4 to 5 days a week with the right intensity and consistency is really, really going to transform your physique. 4 to 5 days though is still going to be good. However, you need to make sure that you're getting the right rest, recovery, nutrition, hydration. And remember that all of the growth happens outside of the gym. Super, super critical to understand that when it comes to understanding how often should I be going to the gym. If you guys are liking this live, please like the live. Feel free to ask questions, guys, if you've got any questions as we're running through. If you guys are more based around cardio, I would recommend to do a minimum of 3 sessions a week if you are a beginner. If you are a little bit more intermediate, you should be doing a minimum of 4, 5 or 6 days a week. To be honest with you, you should be doing 10,000 steps a day as a minimum. 10,000 steps a day is going to be something that is going to cover your cardio goals, no problem. You don't need to drive to the gym in order to do cardio. You can easily do cardio just by walking and breaking it up into 3 15-minute segments throughout the day. It's that simple. And for general health and weight loss, what I'd recommend, how often you should work out, is you should be aiming for 150 to 300 minutes per week in terms of workout time. So that's probably around 3 to 4 sessions per week. But these can be split up into 20 to 30-minute sessions, so they're a lot more manageable. Super transparent here, guys, for you guys that are watching. Even if you guys are busy, even short workouts 4 to 5 times per week make a difference. There was a period where I wasn't able to go to the gym. I only could do home workouts, and I was doing 10 to 15 minutes workouts a day, and I was doing that 4 days a week. You can get some real good results just by going to the gym, just by exercising, even short workouts 4 to 5 days a week. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to do these hour-and-a-half workouts. You don't need to be doing these 5 a.m. get-ups. Even short workouts at home, 10 to 15 minutes, can really make a big difference. So just as an example, I'll give you my real life example about how often I go to the gym. So at the moment, I go to the gym 3 days a week, and I make sure that I have a rest day in between each of my workouts. So usually I'll go to the gym on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday, and then I will have a rest day in between to give my body adequate recovery. I'll do 10,000 steps a day, and then I'll do at least one run on the weekend. At my current state at the moment, I am happy just to maintain my current physique because I've been training for over a decade and it fits my current busy lifestyle. I wish I could train more, but with all of the personal commitments I've got, 3 days a week to weight train with 1 cardio session and 10,000 steps a day covers all of the bases that I need. If you are a complete beginner, I would recommend to start it with at least once, twice or 3 days a week to begin with. Build them up from potentially 15 to 30-minute workouts. Once your body starts adjusting and getting used to it, you can then start adding 10 to 15 minutes to your workouts. But remember, you really want to be consistent. You don't want to burn yourself out in the first few weeks that you're trying to get yourself into a good workout routine. If you are an intermediate person who is training, depending on your goal, you can go to the gym 4, 5 or 6 days a week. Ideally, if you're an intermediate and you really want to change your physique, you should be going to the gym 6 days a week, and you should be training each muscle group at least twice per week. But for everyone else, including myself, I can't find the time to go 6 days a week. 3 days a week, 10,000 steps a day, and 1 cardio session on the weekend is all that you need. So, if you guys are finding the live helpful, please like the live. Guys, if you've got any questions whilst I'm running through, then please let me know in the comments. We've got just over 15 minutes left of this live where we're talking about how often should you work out. We firstly ran through busting common myths. So we addressed common misconceptions around more isn't always better. So overtraining can affect your progress because this can lead to injury. You're only growing when you are resting and you are fueling your body with the right nutrition, hydration, and rest. We then spoke about another common misconception: if I skip a day, I'm failing. You've got to really focus on consistency over perfection. Excuse me. And research has shown that even 30 minutes, even a 30-minute workout 3 to 5 times per week can drastically improve your health. So you don't have to go to the gym an hour, hour and a half each session. You don't even need to go to the gym really. As I mentioned, you can do home workouts, 10 to 15 minutes, as long as they're consistent. Consistency is the key. We then moved into frequency by goal and lifestyle. So this is where we started talking about if you're looking to strength train a minimum of at least 3 days a week, you can go up to 5 or 6 days a week, depending on your goal, but you need to make sure there is rest days in there for muscle recovery. If you're doing cardio, you should be doing a minimum of 10,000 steps a day. 3 to 6 days a week, bare minimum. That's low intensity cardio. Then I would at least do a minimum 5K run every week. You can do park run, simple as that. For general health and weight loss, you need to be exercising around 150 to 300 minutes each week. This can be split into 20 to 30 minute sessions. So ideally, this could be broken down into a few shorter sessions throughout the week, as long as you hit that number. But remember that your 10,000 steps a day will also work towards this number as well. Super, super important. And then we run through some realistic schedules. So for beginners and intermediates, in terms of how often you should work out. For beginners, you should start with once, twice, 3 days a week, then build on that consistency. If you're an intermediate, depending on your goal, if you're looking to really transform your physique, then going to the gym 4, 5 or 6 days a week is more than fair. However, just note that you need to be fueling your body with the right nutrition in order to really see the results that you want. Next, we're going to move into consistency and motivation tips. So I'm just going to explain here, frequency alone isn't enough. You just turning up to the gym and showing up does not automatically mean that you're going to get results. At the end of the day, being consistent and ensuring that you're training with the right intensity and proper recovery is going to make sure that you're going to get the results that you want. Putting in a hard workout and not looking after your recovery in terms of the right nutrition, sleep, and hydration, you are not going to see the results that you want. So super, super important. Frequency alone isn't enough. Consistency, intensity, and proper recovery is key in seeing the results that you want. You could go to the gym 6 days a week, but if you have rubbish consistency, intensity, and rubbish recovery, then you are not going to see the results, as opposed to someone going to the gym 3 days a week with consistency, intensity, and proper recovery. So the recovery point is super critical along with the intensity. If you are extremely busy and you're probably watching this and thinking to yourself, that would be really nice to go to the gym 4, 5 or 6 days a week. Even for me now, where I'm super, super busy, going to the gym or exercising at least 3 days a week is what everyone should be doing. 3 days a week as a minimum, 10,000 steps a day, and then at least one cardio session on the weekend. You've got to remember that even walking counts. when it comes to exercising. This is the most important thing, is going outside, putting your trainers on. If you like talking to someone on the phone, just put your AirPods in, walk around the block, easily 10 to 15 minute passes. It's that easy, but you've got to be proactive. Same as if you're extremely busy, you can combine your strength and cardio sessions. So when I was extremely busy, I was doing 10 to 15 minute workouts at home, and then I was just breaking up my cardio into my general lifestyle. I was walking 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, lunch, and then at dinner. You've got to schedule your workouts like appointments, so they are non-negotiable. You make time for your friends, you make time to go out after work drinks. Super, super critical that you make time for your health. At the end of the day, you only get one body, and all you've got to do is just do these small steps. And if you do these small steps, they lead to bigger results. And all it is just doing the same boring things day in, day out. They're very little commitments. 3 days a week, 10,000 steps a day, one cardio session on the weekend. But you do that every week, you accumulate all of that consistency, it's going to lead to a bigger result. So guys, let me know, for anyone watching this, type 1 if you guys struggle with motivation, or type 2 in the comments if you guys struggle with time. Trust me, speaking from experience, just to be super relatable with you guys, everyone struggles with motivation. I know when we look on social media, it's very easy to think that everyone is super motivated. But even now in the UK, where it's cold, wet, it's dark, it is not a time when you're feeling motivated to go out and do your workouts. But that's where you've got to start thinking about discipline. You've got to think about the why. Why did you start working out? What do you want to achieve? Do you actually want to be in shape for summer this year? It's all about the work that you're doing now in February that is going to set you up for success to be in shape in June or July. And it's these months that are the critical ones. If you are struggling with time, time is the biggest killer. And I know, again, speaking from experience, from working, getting up in the morning at 6 a.m, not getting home till 6:37, time is very tight. The best advice I can give you if you are tight on time is to do home workouts. You don't need equipment. You can easily do home workouts just by doing body weight exercises. You can get a pull-up bar if you wanted to add a bit more equipment in. But you don't need a fancy gym membership in order to get in shape. As long as you're being consistent, then you will see the results that you want. And it moves me into my next point, that short, sharp workouts can just be as effective as gym sessions. Because a lot of people, when it comes to going to the gym, they're so on and off with it week to week. If they just done a consistent home workout, they would get a better result than if they were going to the gym on and off just because time gets tight. So super important to remember that you need to train in the environment that you're in. If you're tight on time, do home workouts. If you're struggling with motivation, think about your why. So we've just got under 5 minutes left of this live. If you guys have found the live helpful, please like the live. Please let me know, guys, if you've got any comments or questions so I can answer them for you. What I wanted to run through as a last step is a summary and a call to action in terms of what I've run through today. So in terms of the big overarching question, how often should you work out? Frequency completely depends on your goals. So if you are looking to just stay in shape, maintain what you've got, which I'm currently at the moment because of my commitments. Going to the gym 3 days a week, 10,000 steps a day, doing one cardio session on the weekend is enough. If you are looking to really transform your physique, you need to be going to the gym or exercising at least 5 to 6 days a week, because you need to have that volume in order to make that transformation. However, frequency is important, but it's not as important as having the proper rest, recovery, and nutrition in order to stack up and provide you with the optimal results. You can't go to the gym a few days a week and then not have a good diet. If you haven't got your nutrition dialed in, nutrition is 90% of the result. You've probably seen someone or know someone that doesn't really exercise or exercises as a bare minimum, but they eat really well and they are in better shape than some people who are going to the gym 4, 5 or 6 days a week and who hasn't got their nutrition dialed in. Super, super critical when it comes to nutrition. How often you work out also comes down to your lifestyle. I'm pretty much tied up for 12 hours a day, so I can't go to the gym as often as what I would like. If you're in a similar boat where you can't get to the gym as frequent, the most important thing is not to do anything, but to do something that fits your lifestyle. Everyone has got 3 days a week, 30 minutes to do a body weight routine at home. Everyone can do 10,000 steps a day, but you've got to be willing to implement it into your lifestyle as a must. So, if we are keeping it real, when is it too late to start the gym? It's never too late to start the gym. If you've got the right attitude to put towards it, you can make it happen. Because the older you get, the more energy you got for it. Look, I completely understand. Look, the way that I look at it is, yeah, I get it. I'm going to be 35 soon, so we're similar age. And I know you've got a lot going on. And the unfortunate thing is when we get a little bit older, we do have a load of responsibilities and we can't get away sometimes as much as we can. I'm in a similar boat. The one thing I would say for you to do is just start with something small to begin with, even if it's once a week, twice a week, to begin with. Build confidence on that. Once you go to the gym once or twice a week, or you exercise once, twice or 3 days a week, you can then start building on it. In your current situation, I wouldn't do any more than 3 days a week. I would more focus on doing shorter sessions. They can even be 30-minute sessions to begin with. They're low commitment and doing your 10,000 steps a day. I think that is super, super important. So I hope that's helpful. And look, at the end of the day, I think you don't have to be perfect. Like, you don't have to go to the gym 6 days a week. I'm telling you right now, even from experience. So, yeah, I know kids. I haven't got any kids. I do have a dog. But, yeah, try and find some time. You know, swap in, swap out of your missus. You look after the kids. She comes home from work. You go into the gym for 30 minutes, or you do a 30-minute home workout somewhere. Just, you've got to start somewhere. And 38, you're at a good point even now just to start. Yeah, there you go. 3 days is doable. Yeah. And the thing is that I promise you, if you do 3 days and you do it consistently, you will transform your physique by the time summer comes around. I know we don't want to take our tops off, or, you know, because it's super cold at the moment, but you do 3 days a week now. In June, July, you're going to be in the best shape you've been in for God knows how many years. So I hope that's helpful. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be back online tomorrow at 7 p.m. If you guys have got any questions, feel free to DM me. I'm always happy on hand here. If you guys want a free full body workout, then you can download that off my main page. Thank you guys for liking the live. Thank you guys for watching. Tomorrow, I'm going to be coming back on here again. Feel free to join me 7 p.m. Thank you guys for engaging. Have a good rest of your evening, and I shall see you guys tomorrow.